Hello and welcome to Conquering Alba, where we take you to the historical places that helped make Scotland what it is today. Today we're in Kinross as we visit the place where Mary Queen of Scots was forced to advocate the Scottish throne here at Loch Leven Castle. Loch Leven Castle is a ruined castle on an island in Loch Leven in the Perth and Kinross area of Scotland. The loch itself is a nature reserve brimming with wildlife and many picturesque views of hills all around. As the castle sits on an island in the loch, we are having to get a boat to transport us over to it. The boat is nearby in the town of Loch Leven. The loch is also full of fish such as northern pike, rainbow trout, European eel, brown trout, common minnow and much more. The area is also well known for its bird sightings. The castle is over 700 years old and may have been built on the castle island as early as 1257 when King Alexander III of Scotland was 16 years old and was forcibly brought there by his regents. Other Scots monarchs are also said to have visited here. This includes Robert the Bruce, Robert Stewart and Mary Queen of Scots. During the First War of Scottish Independence, the invading English army held the castle. It lies at a strategically important position between the towns of Edinburgh, Stirling and Perth. Part of the present fortification, the Curtain Wall, may date from this time period, and may also have been built by the occupying English. The castle was captured by the Scots before the end of the 13th century, possibly by the forces of William Wallace. It is from the poet Blind Harry's story of William Wallace that suggests that William Wallace may have captured it. It was certainly in the Scottish hands when Robert the Bruce came to the castle in 1313 and again in 1323. Robert the Bruce's grandson, Robert Stewart, later to become King Robert II, was the first of the royal house of Stuart. He was imprisoned here by King David II in the castle for a spell in 1369. As the complicated politics of the age unfolded, King Robert II later granted the castle to Sir Henry Douglas, and the Douglases held the castle up to the 17th century. It was round about this time the Douglases built the Kinross house, which we can see in the distance, and they moved from the castle to the Kinross house. The castle is considered relatively small, as it's consisting mainly of an outer curtain wall, the tower house, and another smaller tower called the Glasson Tower. There are attractive views across the loch to the Lomond Hills from the island the castle rests on. The Glasson Tower is a round tower that was built into the south-east corner of the ancient curtain wall. The purpose of the tower was to provide additional accommodation and to give the castle a more imposing appearance. Gun holes that allowed fire to be directed along the external face of the curtain was improved defence. The tower has a vaulted basement for storing water, accessed separately from the courtyard. The basement has separate channels to allow the water to be collected from the loch and wastewater to be drained through a slop drain. The lower chamber has an oriel window which would have given views over the loch. The upper chamber served as a bed chamber. At the very top of a small room accessible only from the wall walk was possibly a study or a library. In the 16th century, Mary Queen of Scots stayed at Loch Leven for a week in May 1562 to recover after she fell from a horse while riding out from Falkland Palace. Then in 1565 she visited Loch Leven again as a guest of Sir William Douglas of Loch Leven and held an interview there with the preacher John Knox. 2 years after this, Mary returned to Loch Leven as a prisoner. She was held there from the 17th of June 1567 until her escape on the 2nd of May 1568. She had been imprisoned there after the Battle of Carberry Hill on the 15th of June, when she surrendered to her noblemen who opposed her marriage to the Earl of Bothwell. When Mary was brought here as a prisoner, she fell ill on arrival, which was suspected to be the result of deliberate poisoning. Sometime before the 24th of July, she miscarried twins that she had conceived with Bothwell. They were hastily buried in the grounds. Only a few days later, she was forced to advocate as Queen of Scots in favour for her infant son, James. It is also said that the castle is one of many haunted by Mary's spirit, because she is waiting for her twins to return to her so they would know their loss of life was not her fault. The sadness she felt about their loss kept her trapped within the castle walls after her death. In the more recent years, Loch Leven Castle had fallen into ruin by the 18th century, but the ruins were conserved and rubbish removed in 1840. The estate passed from the Bruces to the Graham family in the 18th century, and then in the 19th century to the Montgomerys, who no longer occupy the Kinross house. The castle was then given to state care in 1939 and is now managed by Historic Environment Scotland. The tower house, or keep, at the west corner of the enclosure had originally 5 stories, although the roof and timber floors are now gone. The lowest level is a vaulted basement with a vaulted kitchen above. The hall was on the next floor with chambers above, all linked by a spiral stair. We hope you have enjoyed today's video here at Loch Leven Castle. For standing for over 700 years, the castle is well preserved and so much history has come through its walls. If you wish to see more of Scotland's historical places, then please like and subscribe. And until next time, Alba go bra.